So yeah, I'm on the line with my bro Jermaine Johnson from the ends, Balham
Come,
original.
come, come on.
So yeah, basically, I just wanted to talk to you about your football career, how you started. When did you start playing ball?
Boy, so I started playing ball when I was around, well, I started taking it a bit more serious when I was about 10, 11.
Yeah,
I remember like before that, man used to just, do a little quick thing in the playground.
but because I remember from youths, I remember that you kind of was a late starter,
Yeah.
like in comparison to most of like everybody around the area. You weren't really like out there from early doors at 6 and 7 kind of thing.
Nah. So to be brutally honest, I wasn't that into football.
Mm.
It was one of those ones where I used to see man them playing football, and all I was thinking was, yo, what's that gal doing? I just wanted to check gal. That was the only thing that was on my mind, didn't it?
And what was the first club you played for?
Bec United.
Oh, Bec
Yeah,
United.
Bec United, bro. Bec United.
What age?
So
When was that? What age?
I must have went Bec United in year 6, so that would have been what?
Under 11.
11?
Yeah.
About 11.
Yeah.
Went there when I was 11. And then at the time I was playing for Bec United, and then one of my bedrooms must have took me to Carl Shorten.
Okay.
So I was playing for the two. I was playing for the two of them.
Yeah.
And then I was just learning my trade from there, bro. From there, like I started loving it. Started loving the game when I realized, hold on, I'm pretty good at this.
Yeah.
People are starting to click onto, man. It's like, hold on, yeah. This is the baller. So I thought,
And you was pretty big for your age as a kid, weren't you?
yeah.
That was probably like one of your biggest and main attributes that made you stand out from everybody. But even before you even kicked the ball, you were just like a big kid.
Just the presence, yeah.
I remember it like it was yesterday, bro. When did you first like get like any attention from academies or anything like that?
So literally in my first season. So
Okay.
when I was at Bec United, that's when I got most of the noise. So I think it was coming up towards the end of the season. When things are starting to get serious, people are playing for leagues, cup finals, or them little things there.
Yeah.
And there was one game in particular. God knows who I was playing against, but I was playing centre mid at the time. And I remember I scored 2 goals, but one of my goals must have been a 30-yard screamer, like crossbarring in. And I remember after the game, a Chelsea scout must have come to me, and he was just talking to me. And he was like, "Oh yeah, we want to get you down for some trials and stuff." But that it wasn't even a surprise because a couple of guys that I knew, like from around South anyway, they were slowly getting picked up by a certain club. So I just thought, it was only going to be my time.
Yeah.
So yeah, they spoke to me, but it didn't really seem like they were serious in it. Like it was a lot of talk. Like,
Yeah.
Down, and then carried on playing for Bec United, cup final, won the game, and then Spurs and Millwall, they both started speaking to me as well.
Yeah.
And they were like, right, we want to bring you in for a trial straight away. So I'm like, okay, cool. These times I was playing centre mid, but like I didn't really know what my position was.
Yeah.
I'll just turn up on the pitch and just, I
Play.
just wanted to kick a ball.
Just play.
Just have fun, innit?
Do you know what's mad? Cause like old school days, when you was under 11, you was playing 11-a-side football, right?
Yeah.
Like, whereas the kids now at under 11s, they're playing 9-a-side and 7-a-side.
To be fair, like that, it's good for them now.
Oh,
it's good that they changed it.
Yeah.
That they changed it. 11-a-side at the
With
time.
the adult goals as well.
That's what probably made me look good. Small keeper, and I'm just hitting them from far. Slight blessing for my timing. But yeah, yeah, it got to the stage where a couple clubs were coming in for me, and they just wanted me to go in for like trials here, trials there.
Mm.
So went to Spurs. They wanted me as a striker. Well, went in there as a central midfielder, played a game for them, and then they're like, no, we want to push you up front.
That's
I want you as a
mad.
striker. So yeah, then ended up playing up front for the duration that I was there. I was on trial there for about 4-5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then they made the decision. They're like, yeah, do you know what? We fancy you. We want you to come to the club. But obviously from where we live, going over to
London.
North London, it was hard. Like, it was
Literally.
hard, not for me, because obviously these times I was young, but I'm more so thinking, yo, my mum's got to get me there, back, and all of that.
Is that who was taking you them time there? It was mum?
Yeah, so it was just a mixture of people, but it was hard to get people to
Commit to that. Yeah.
It's a big commitment, like. So we put them on pause whilst we were making a decision, and then we went over to Millwall, because obviously with it being in South as well, kind of made more sense.
Yeah.
So went Millwall, had the trial. To be fair, the trial didn't even last that long. I literally done 2 weeks there, played one game for them. They're like, yeah, we want to sign you.
Yeah.
And then, so we were more thinking, yeah, do you know what? We'll probably have to go Millwall just because it's in South, even though Spurs were the bigger team.
Yeah.
And then because I even remember these times when I was at Millwall, because me and a geezer called Frank Noble, we must have been at Millwall at the same time,
Mad.
doing our trial. And then next thing you know, I've gone home ready to say to Mumsy, yeah, right, I'm picking Millwall. It's easier for you. Like, I know people. I've got to know people. It's all right.
Yeah.
And then year 7 started, like school year, and then I get a phone call from Chelsea. Yeah, come down. No trial. We just want to sign you. We want to sign you straight away. Like,
What?
forget talking. We just want to sign you. And I'm thinking, right, I know people there. It's South enough. It's not far.
Yeah.
Like, and it's Chelsea, innit? Like, it's big time Chelsea. So man, I'm gonna go Chelsea. I just signed up. So told Spurs no, told Millwall no, and then signed up for Chelsea.
Was you at Chelsea before Jordan?
Jordan went there in primary school, I think. Year
Okay.
6.
Okay.
Year 6, and I joined in year 7.
So that was kind of a good little link up. Jordan, we're talking about Jordan Hibbert, who also went to our school, Ernest Bevin, and you two were in the same year.
Yeah.
So he's already at Chelsea, and then they've called you, said, yeah, come join us, which is brilliant because you're schoolmates.
This is it. It. So, and big up Jordan as well, Carl. There was certain night sessions, and his dad would be like, yeah, don't worry. Like, I'll take you back to your yard and all them things there. So, like, it was just a family thing. Like,
yeah,
all together in school, and then everyone's just helping everyone.
That's mad. How like, when you first kind of entered the academy system, so like from the first trials and all of that and everything that you did, how nerve-wracking was it kind of to perform the way that you know you can perform?
To be fair, I didn't really feel the pressure.
Okay.
They just wanted, like, when you're first coming up, all they wanted to do is get your natural skills out. So, like, teach you the basics and make sure that you're absolutely fantastic with the basics. And that came fairly natural to me anyway. So then it was just about expressing myself and showing them what I could actually do.
Yeah.
And also, to be fair, the only thing that was nerve-wracking at that time is, where am I going to play? Because we still hadn't like found a position for me. Was I a striker? Was I a midfielder? Was I a defender? So it was just like, right, what am I doing? Right.
And for you, what position did you personally favour at that time as a 11, 12-year-old getting into the system?
And, everyone wants to be a striker. Everyone wants to be a striker. But I think once I got into like once I saw some of the other players, and some of the talent that they possessed, it was like, hold on, you kind of thought, first things first, I want to play. What position can I go on? Which position can I pick to make sure that I'm playing week in, week out? Because I don't do bench. I've got a big, I don't like being on the bench. So I suggest, because obviously, I'm a modest player, so I'm calm. I know my capabilities.
Yeah.
So if Geezer's better than me, or he's a better finisher, I won't say better player, but if he's a better finisher or he's a better crosser, then I know, hold on, how much better is he?
Yeah.
Is he at a level where I can compete and then we can go back and forth where I think, hold on, I'm going to get that position, or is he miles better than me and I think I need to think about my position?
Was there any players in the Chelsea Academy setup who were kind of intimidating because they were so that good, kind of thing?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Not really. Like, we're all of a good level. Like, everyone was at a good level, or you wouldn't have been there. Full stop.
Right.
So it wasn't intimidating. It was just like, yeah, man, these are good players. Like, they were just making you better because you just wanted to push yourself to be better than your teammate and then whoever you're playing against.
And what did you find the biggest differences in terms of the training and even the ability with like the grassroots players that you'd come from playing with, and just the local people in the area, and the players you started playing against once you had signed up with the academies and whatnot?
So to be honest, there wasn't a major difference in terms of ability at that time, at that stage of like 12, 13. Ability wise, what I was playing against on a Saturday or a Sunday, when I was at Bec United or Carl Shilton, then the abilities were fairly the same. The only difference was their mentality. So they knew because a lot of these boys, remember, they started football from 7, 8, 9, like they'd been in the system
from early.
And some of them were, from very well off backgrounds, so they knew, right, it was almost like a job to them. So it's like, right, I'm coming here to do this, that, and the other. Whereas for me, it's just like, yo, I want to come kick balls, have some fun.
Yeah.
So in terms of ability, their ability wasn't way better than anyone that I was already playing against. It was only going through the years that you could see, hold on, obviously we're progressing because we're doing this week in, week out.
Yeah.
Whereas the people playing on a Saturday or a Sunday, you could see
they didn't.
The difference was starting to show.
How hard is it, like, so you stayed with Chelsea basically throughout your whole secondary school years, right?
Yeah.
How hard is it, like, seeing players kind of come in and out of the door? Because I'm sure there must have been a load of people, like, they're there for one season, they're gone. Like, how much pressure is that on yourself? Like, bro, it could be me next. Like, they could be saying, "Yo, Jermaine, thank you for, but it's your time now." Like, how much pressure is that, and how do you deal with that?
To be fair, you see them come, you see them go, but as soon as you think that, hold on, I could be out of the door, then you know what they say, there's no smoke without fire. The likelihood is it's because you're not performing, and which
it's been for a while.
It could potentially mean that you're not good enough. That, or you're just mentally not strong enough. Like with me, through those years anyway, it was just a fact of, hold on, no, I believe in my ability. I know what I'm capable of. I was a big voice, a big personality in the changing room.
Yeah.
I just felt sure. They didn't worry year in, year out. Yeah.
What I was gonna say is also, like, how much of an influence were, like, maybe first team and reserves players on you, like, during your academy years? Did you ever were they in touching distance? Did anybody ever come and say, Jermaine, keep it going, you're doing great? Was there any of that kind of going on?
Yeah, it was. To be fair, they were good. They were good. I think it was around the age of 14 where our training ground had changed.
Yeah.
Because we had bought Fulham's training ground, because Fulham used to train basically like next door to us at the time. And yeah, at that time, it just meant that the first team were a lot closer to us, and the first team staff were a lot closer to us. So you would have the odd conversation here or there. You might play in a resi game, train with them.
Man.
It was just all dependent on situations. But you always had the sense that you were part of a family. You know what I mean? It was a good environment.
Do you remember the first time ever like playing with the reserves on that?
Yeah. That's when I was 14, 15 with Brendan Rodgers. I remember Brendan Rodgers. He was the manager at the time. Bro, like that, literally my arse. Yeah? My arse squeaking, bro. Like obviously I'm a youngster, but Brendan, I was intimidated of him. I'm not gonna lie. I was intimidated of him. Like I just thought that's the first time where I thought, yo, I need to perform. But I'm still nervous. Like obviously, you know, where we grow up, like we've seen it all. Like you don't get intimidated by certain people. Get me? I saw him and I'm there like, yo, I need to do something.
What kind of players were in the reserves around that time?
So there was like first team players that were injured or coming back from injury. Then you had the likes of Ryan Bertrand, Scott Sinclair, Jack Cork, all of those sort of players, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was any of them like an extreme talent that like you thought they would, any like person that you saw through them years, you thought they're gonna be like the biggest player in England?
I don't know. I don't know about the biggest player in England. I remember one time, Scott Sinclair, he made me look at football in a different way.
How so?
I always thought, look, I'm fast, I'm strong, and like for the most part, as you probably would have seen me, like I'd play the game like with just like brute force, and he was the first player that was just so rapid that I couldn't keep up with him.
Yeah.
And it was one of those ones where I thought, hold on, I'm gonna have to learn how to play the game a different way. There's gonna be people that are stronger than me, faster than me. So I need to bring another element to my game. I can't just be this brute. Like, do you know what I mean? So
he was the first Don that really kind of
he was the first Don that made me think, yo, think differently. Think differently, because when you go back down and play in your age group again, like that, you can't let no Don do that to you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was the first guy that made me think, whoa, like, mad.
Through them years, were there any like really, really influential coaches, like from grassroots to academy level, that really made an impact on you? Kind of the same way like Scott Sinclair, like it stuck with you that, do you know what? I need to be prepared for maybe when there's a quicker and stronger guy. Like, was there any kind of coaches that always was there for you and they really made a big impact on your career?
At that age, probably not. I always thought to myself, Brendan Rodgers was the one guy that I wanted to impress. There was a guy called Neil Bath who was basically in charge of all the whole academy at the time, who obviously, you know, he has a major say in what happens in your career.
Yeah.
But at that time, all I was thinking was, need to impress Brendan. Need to do well in my own age group so Brendan could hear something about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was literally the one guy I was trying to. I just wanted him to say my name, know my name, and be like, yeah, like whenever there was an injury in the reserves, or anything, like I'm the first name he says. Like it was one of those.
Were they during that time? You was always allowed to still play for like Bevan and whatnot, wasn't you? When you was at
so I was allowed to play for school. I was allowed. Technically,
you man weren't meant to be playing.
Technically, I was allowed, but you know the clubs always just say, "Yo, look after yourself. Like, make sure that you don't get yourself caught up in any foolishness and stuff."
And during the academy years, did you ever like play regional or for like the country or anything?
Yeah, I was regional captain. I was
Oh,
regional captain. Those were the days where we had what is his name now? This is taking it back. I think his name was Moses or something. He was
Victor Moses.
Nah, not Victor.
Yeah, I remember
he
there was
was
a Moses that everybody always used to talk about. This Moses who was meant to be like an
from
African
Arsenal.
bred, he was super hench, super strong.
Yeah.
I always thought that was Victor Moses, you know.
Nah. It was a different Moses from Arsenal. Still, there was a couple questions about him, but yeah. To be fair, it was a good player. Like from certain ages, and then as you get older, you can see, hold on, we're just gonna surpass him.
Yeah.
But he was another one, big, strong lad. You get me? Good African roots. You get me? Tough man. So it was literally, I think Jordan played as well a couple times as well. Like it was us, a couple Chelsea boys, a couple Arsenal boys, and then just like a few boys from a couple lower clubs and couple lower league clubs and that. But all of that, all the regionals, it was sick. It was sick.
So who would you play against when you was representing? When you play regions,
just other regions, bro. To be fair, I can't even remember. I fully can't remember. I just remember getting the phone call, and then it coming through. I think it came through school.
Okay.
I think the call ups came through school. They're like, you've been picked
for London or whatever.
Yeah. You got to play against X, Y, and Z. I'm like, I'll do anything just to play some ball. Yeah, man. Get me on the pitch, innit?
Nah, that's wicked. So tell me about the time when you're getting to like 15, 16, and you're starting to think about signing your youth pro. I can't remember how does it go?
Yeah, so back then, because it's changed now, back then it was YTS/apprentice.
Yeah.
Apprenticeship. Them times. So got to 15. I think I was 15. And I was like I think around 14, Roman Abramovich must have bought Chelsea in it.
Okay. That must have been nuts.
Yeah, that changed everything. That changed absolutely everything. So the whole look and the whole feel of the academy, from the academy into the first team, or like the path was completely different.
Sorry to cut you, did that ever kind of put any doubts in your mind that they might just get rid of everybody and just start again kind of thing?
So it put doubts in my mind when a geezer called Frank Anderson came in.
Okay.
So basically who Frank Anderson is one of the guys that like found, remember Fat Ronaldo?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was one of like the main guys for finding that talent in it. And he came into Chelsea and he was like the link between finding young first team players and the academy and all of that malarkey.
Yeah.
And then like there was a change in structure. So initially with the academy, especially in the English game, it was just British lads, a lot of British lads. Like going through, trying to learn their trade and then trying to get into the first team. And then when he came in, he changed the whole dynamic and brought in a lot of foreign players.
Okay.
So obviously with that being said, that means the number of British players needed to be cut. And yeah, we got to 16 when it came down to like times to get a new contract, and Chelsea didn't renew my contract.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So what do you do then?
So at that time, that's when you either clubs probably already know who you are, and they'll just try to jump in to try and sign you for the next however long. Yeah. Or if you're not as established, then you just do trials and stuff to try and find a club, as you would have done when you were younger.
Yeah. And so particularly for you now, so that going through the scholar years, and it's coming up to like first team kind of signing, at that point, what were the conversations like? Was you confident that you might have got a contract, or how was you feeling at that point?
For Chelsea?
Yeah.
With all the changes that happened, I genuinely wasn't sure because there was so many people coming in the door and no one going out. So I knew that the club was getting bigger. However, I knew that there's too many bodies here. There's too many bodies coming in, and there's not enough bodies going out. Yeah. So that was probably the one time, or one of the few times in my career where I was like, hold on, what's the motive? Like, what's actually going on?
Yeah. And then, so Chelsea didn't offer you a contract, and you went on to sign for Derby in the year that Derby got promoted, right?
Yeah. So basically, it was a difficult year. So a lot of my decisions were made because of things that are going off the pitch. So basically, around that time, a lot of people around me were either getting themselves into madness or had passed away.
Yeah, it's true. That's what them years there, Eugene and that just died and that, innit?
Yeah.
The knife crime and all of that.
Knife crime, obviously. Remember the year before.
Damn. Yeah.
Obviously with that whole madness. And it was a matter of, look, I'm not in it, but
you're close enough.
I'm close enough, and it's like, especially when you come out of school, you got more freedom. And if these are my friends, where else am I going to go apart from deeper in?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then around those years as well, my mum passed away as well. So it was like, right, a lot of these things are saying, right, do I even bother staying in London? So Palace coming for me, wanted to sign me. Derby coming for me, wanted to sign me. In all fairness, Derby's approach was a lot more. It just seemed like they wanted me more. So they sent me, as well as getting on the phone to me, calling me and whatnot, and talking to the family. They sent me DVDs, which great, bro. I'm not even joking. They sent me DVDs of the training ground, what their plans were for the next 2, 3, 4 years.
One second, I just need to close my door. Can you hear noise?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. They sent you DVDs.
Yeah. And just like let me know plans, what was going on for the next few years. Invited me up to see the training ground, talk with the first team manager, just get a feel for the place, because obviously when you're in London, your whole thought process is, why am I leaving London? London's the capital city. Like why am I going to go country for? But yeah, after seeing some of the facilities, after talking to the first team manager, it was literally, I think it's time for me to leave London, and ended up signing for Derby.
How difficult was that, literally moving up north? Actually, Derby's Midlands, but moving to the Midlands.
Yeah, mate. Anything north of London's up north. It was hard. Obviously, I'm going into the unknown. Like I'm in London, I'm in South, I'm around predominantly black people all the time. I'm out of my comfort zone. I'm going up there where it's predominantly white people that don't sound like me, people that don't talk like me. Like their whole mindset's completely different to mine. And it took me some time to adjust. But to be fair, it was one of the best decisions I've made in my life. Serious. Getting out of London and getting a new perspective on things, seeing that life doesn't just mean London.
Yeah.
Then it was literally.
Well, did you move and live on your own, or did you live within their accommodation?
So I stayed in digs for my first year, and then as you know, first year meeting some of the players, getting to know them, coming close with them, me and my teammate moved out and we got a house. Got a house together.
That first contract that you signed, like, were there any issues kind of with outside of football with like your agent maybe or anybody else, or was that all cool kind of thing?
No, it was pretty good, to be fair. The terms were nice. Like money, obviously, that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, man, this is for me.
And how did that change you? Like when you run into paper, like, you know, you're what, 16, 17, 18, you just move out of London, you got your full, obviously you had your freedom anyway, like at home, but now you're really free. You could run wild. Like how did that affect your concentration on at training and everything else?
Me personally, obviously, you know what I'm like, but it kind of affected me still. It kind of affected me. Like, I had too much freedom in it. Freedom plus money, like, and all the family that I had and that were guiding me in the right paths. Just to be like, no, you don't need to do things like this. No, you don't need to do that. They're over 100 miles away. I'm running free in this foreign town, and on the pitch, I'd like to say that I was still doing fine. Like the first couple of years, I was still doing fine. But again, influences. Like at that time, I probably wasn't mentally strong enough I didn't know how to say no. I didn't like the word no. So I'd go out all the time. I'd go shopping all the time. I'd do this, I'll do that.
Flexing, boy. So the first season that you went to Derby, that they was in the Premiership, what was that like, knowing that they was in the Premiership? You've just signed, obviously, so you're still a youth, but you're a youth pro kind of thing, and you're trying to bust your way through the reserves and whatnot. They obviously weren't doing too great. Like the first team, they didn't do too great at all. How was that for you? Did you see that as an opportunity for you to maybe get into the first team, or was that even more of a barrier? Like, they're never gonna pick me because they're under pressure.
Yeah, so it was hard because my first season there, I had 3 different managers.
Yeah.
Well, my first season and a bit, I had 3 different managers. So Billy Davis brought me in, and he was a legend, to be fair. Very close with him. I was close with his son at the time as well. So, like, even from the start, so from playoffs, we had West Brom in the playoffs. He brought me down, got me down to the game, made sure that I was a part of it, and then obviously we won the game to go up into the Premier League. First season in there, obviously difficult times. And, you know, we didn't get off to the greatest, well, I say greatest start. We didn't have a great season, full stop. Yeah. But the first season, my mindset wasn't so much on trying to get into the first team. It was just trying to, again, just learn my trade, carry on learning my trade and improving as a player. And if my chance came, then it come.
Was you by that time? Was you solidified a centre back then? By then?
Yeah. At that time, I was fully a centre back. So I'd occasionally play centre mid or right back, depending on who we played. Like there's some, there's always the odd game where they might have, I don't know, because our players who were playing centre mid at the time were very much flair players, and the game's changed a lot from when I was playing. So the way you'd have now, like a De Bruyne or a David Silva, like all of these smaller players with great technical ability. If you had someone the size of a Yaya Toure just pushing you off the ball, then you wouldn't have that time and that composure to play the way they do now. So whenever there was someone like, physically strong with a bit of stature, they'll just stick me. Yo,
Jermaine, come true. Big man, come true.
So yeah, it's one of them ones. They'll just put me centre mid. It was like true say, I was big, but I can still move. You get me? I'm not sick.
Oh god. So during that time, did you ever get any starts for the first team or anything
Nah, so the only first team action that I got and a couple of my teammates got was just during pre-season. We were together during pre-season, and then once the Premier League season started, we'll train with them on and off. But yeah, we didn't really. Whilst Billy Davis was there, we didn't really get any chances. But to be honest, at that stage, he was new. He brought a load of players in.
Yeah, and they're under pressure.
Exactly. You're not trying to think about youth team players right now. You want them to develop, but first things first, you want to make sure that you stay.
And you man, just cool. Let me just
Is it? And then Billy Davis got sacked. Obviously, bad results. It's a results game, innit? He got sacked, and then Paul Jewell come in.
And how did that affect you and what you was doing at that time?
Yeah, that killed me. Paul
Serious?
Jewell, he didn't like me.
Oh man.
From the get, you know when a manager doesn't like you, you just know he didn't like me. I was done out here.
Oh God. So in that situation where you feel as though the manager or coach doesn't like you, do you kind of try to play towards their tune or in any way, kind of thing?
Yeah. So there was always that saying ringing around: "You got to lick us to kick us." Sometimes.
Yeah. Jeez, I like that one. You know.
And I was off the mindset. Obviously, for a long time, I was off the mindset. It's like, hold on, I don't need to play up to no one to get my point across or to show how good I am.
Yeah.
But again, trying to adapt, I was like, obviously, he could see that I would walk in a certain way, I'd talk in a certain way, and it was the little things. All these little things made the bigger picture. So I tried to change myself slowly, like try and adapt myself more. So maybe I'm not, as loud, like not so much like, because wherever I've been, whatever club I've been at, I've always been a present. Like in the change room, I've always been loud. I've always been a character.
Yeah.
And maybe he probably just thought when he came in anyway, I was just big time or something. So I just tried to change his mindset. But yeah, that didn't even work, man. It didn't work.
And then, so how long was he there before you got the boot?
Did he get sacked before the season was done? I feel like he might have got. I think he might have got sacked at the end of the season. I can't remember, to be fair.
And then who was next after him?
And then Cluffy came in.
And how was your relationship with him?
It was decent, to be fair. It was all right. It was all right. At first when he came in, I didn't think he liked, not just me, I didn't think he liked many of the young lads. But he was just not old school. I don't want to say old school, but he was just like, he was different from some of the coaches that I'd been with before. Yeah.
He had his morals and his principles, basically.
Exactly. And they were very, very different to what I'd previously had at Chelsea or even within Billy Davis or Paul Jewell. But to be fair, I think I learned quite a bit. I learned quite a bit from him, to be fair. He was a good manager. Like at first I didn't think anything of him. Like I thought, oh, he's old school. He's making like pre-season, he's making us run up hills. What's this? He's taking us to a common. What are you taking us to a common for? Like, and the commons ain't like the commons in London. It ain't everything flat. There's some big hills, like say you're running up a mountain or something. I'm thinking, what's all this? This ain't football. Like, get the balls out. But if there's anything, I learned quite a bit from him. Discipline, just knowing how to talk more. Because this game, the more you can talk, the easier it is. I know I said obviously that I'm loud in the change room, but there's a difference between being loud in the change room or loud on the pitch and having something productive to say. I feel like I learned a lot more from him.
No, that's really important, actually. Just that, literally, that sentence, like saying productive things that you could be on a pitch and you can shout at a man, "What are you doing?" Or you can say, check your shoulder next time, mate, or whatever the information that's gonna help your teammates or yourself. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Information is absolutely key.
Mm.
Like, and not just information, knowing how to take things on. Like
Yeah.
what I've seen with a lot of youngsters, and even some people on Saturday Sunday League, but Saturday Sunday League sometimes for the older guys don't really count. For the youngsters coming up, like just know how to take feedback. If
No,
someone says to you, bruv, you need to pass the ball quicker, don't be like, bruv, don't tell me what to do. Like, take that information on, because he's obviously telling you it for a reason. You might be talented, but there's a time when you can hold on to the ball and maybe dribble or do something. And then there's a time where you just need to let that ball go quick. Boom, one touch, two touch, and just take it on board, because a lot of people and a lot of kids these days, they don't know how to take feedback.
It's that arrogant kind of vibe.
This is it. This is it. And arrogance is, it's okay sometimes. Everyone's got to have a bit about them. Like, everyone's got to believe in their own ability.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you want to learn in this game and you want to excel and be at the very top level, the level that I couldn't get to, take on this information, grow yourself.
Yeah. So from Derby, when did you decide, or how did it come to the decision that you was going to leave, and what happened next?
So my contract was coming up to an end, and then I got injured, and then Cloughie extended my contract by a year.
Oh wow!
Again, just to get fit, like, and then get back to the level. If not to prove to him that I'm capable, capable of playing, or if I wasn't able to prove to him, then at least I've got another season at Derby to get my fit again, and then move on to a new club. But obviously, at the same time, whilst this is all happening, obviously, like I said to you before, there's a lot of things going off the pitch. Like I was saying to you before, I learned a lot from him, but I was still going out doing messed up. I'm still going out doing messed up things. So I'm out on the lash all the time. I'm out drinking, and all them ones. Like, I remember a time where it was a first team game. So me and one of my guys, there must have been like a student night or something in Derby on a Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember. And there was a game the next day, but it's for the first team. So we wasn't in the first team squad. So we were thinking, let's go out. All that's going to happen is we're going to have a little training session the next day. We'll get through that. That's fine. Obviously, I started and I went hard. Woke up early, got a phone call in the morning from one of the admin ladies saying, oh yeah, Jermaine, you're in the first team squad. They're doing a training session in the morning. Bro, obviously, I've had this phone call. I'm still smelling of alcohol, bro. I didn't even have time to get in the shower. I had to jump in my car and get straight to the training ground for the session. I'm obviously doing my thing, training. Got through the session. I thought, yo, I'm pretty good. Like, I've got through the session pretty good. And then obviously he's got all the players around. And then, like, when the gaffers all like where you can smell something, like, you can still smell alcohol. Get me? I'm sheepish. Moving back, bro. Literally like one of them. And then one of the players, one geezer called Reggie, must have stepped in front of me, innit, like trying to hide the scent. You could like clearly see that I was stinking off the place.
Yeah.
And yeah, just managed to get away with it, and then carried on into the evening for the game. But bro, I was always on
madness
I was on madness, and I enjoyed everything too much for today rather than thinking ahead.
Yeah.
Because remember, the plan wasn't to be a footballer. I was just on this ride, didn't it? It was just like a roller coaster to me. I'm gonna jump on this because I'm all right at it. And I'll just see where it goes.
Do you know what? That was one of the questions I actually wanted to ask you. Like, did you want to be a footballer as a kid? And what did you want to be?
So like every every kid, like most kids in this nation, say, "Yeah, I want to be a footballer." Once I started playing football from a very young age, I didn't. It was just I don't think I ever said to anyone that, yeah, I want to be a footballer. But I was on this journey, and I was just jumped in the passenger seat, and I said, "You're right. Where are we gonna go from here? Where's football gonna take me?"
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, maybe if I would have took the time to sit down and say, "Yo, maybe if I want to be a footballer, like how can I do this?"
I gotta do the extras.
Exactly.
And the people that were around you, even from your Chelsea days and Derby days, yeah, the boys that did kind of make it through, were there anybody that like, I don't know, anybody that maybe still around playing in the Premier League or that you was training with around that kind of time in Resis and academy level?
What, that are like first team players now?
Yeah, in the Premiership.
So in the Premier League, we've got Ryan Bertrand.
So Bertrand, for example, yeah, in comparison to how your lifestyle was and how his lifestyle was,
Yeah,
was he doing
very different?
Was he doing extra things to kind of complement his football?
Yeah. And plus, at that time as well, he was playing with better players.
Okay.
So at that time, he was still playing at Chelsea whilst I went to Derby. Don't get me wrong, he's more than proved himself. He was more than a talent. He's an excellent player. But I think hard work and dedication is massive. Like, everyone's got talent. Everyone's got a certain amount of talent. But then it's who wants to go that extra mile and push themselves even more. I was just riding myself on what I had, the talent. I didn't want to put the work in. There was a guy called Jordan Much, who played for Blues, Cardiff, Derby, a load of teams. Like, I played with him for a while, and when I mean, the geezer was a polar opposite to me. Like, he lived, breathed, like life was football. Life is football still to him, and seeing players like that compared to how I was and how I thought about the game, there must have been something in me where I knew, I don't know if I'm gonna make this, because do I have it in me to
have minerals?
This is it. Like, it was one of them. Like, they were just on a different planet to me when it came down to putting in the extra work.
So you decided, at the end of that 1 year contract, the extension that you got at Derby, what happened then? You went to Wales, right?
Yeah. So went up to Scotland first, Kilmarnock.
You went to Scotland, bro.
Yeah. So at this time, I was trying to figure out, like, what the next step was. Like, what am I going to do? So I was up in Scotland, went to Cyprus, went to Belgium.
Damn, I didn't even know all of this, you know.
And Wales, yeah, bro. I've been about. I'm a little traveller. And yeah, just trying to find a new home where I felt comfortable. Didn't feel too comfortable in Scotland with Kilmarnock. At the time, the club was going through a lot of trouble, so they couldn't offer me the money that I wanted.
Yeah.
And then went to Cyprus. I was in Cyprus for a while, to be fair. Played out there.
How does that experience differ to playing in London and Derby in England?
So different, but bro, it was, again, bad timing. So when I was in Cyprus, it was peak season. It was peak party season.
Yeah, so you went there to rave, boy.
So, bro, I didn't even go there to rave. I swear down on my life, I didn't even go there to rave. I thought, I'm just gonna try and play football, like, away. And I'm thinking, like, abroad, I'm feeling like continental and all them ones there. So I went over, I was playing, and then there must have been another English lad there. Mitch, maybe. I can't remember his name. Might be Mitch or something. And he, the second week that I was there, he was like, "Yo, come, let's have a night out. Like we've trained hard. We've trained hard this week." So I said, "Yeah, cool." So where are we going? I said, "Yo, how far's Napa?" We jumped in the car, bro. I've just drove for Napa. Me, once I knew Napa was that close,
That was it.
It was over for me. It was over for me. Like at these times, Napa's real Napa. Like when we're youngsters and Napa was popping off. Like and
funky house
I was
is popping.
I was just, bro, funky times. Bro, I was there all the times. All the time.
So
Back to England.
What made you come back?
I don't know. The English brother left, and then it was just difficult. It was difficult to communicate. As you can see, I could just about speak English, let alone Cypriot.
And was you getting paid decent money in Cyprus?
Yeah, the money was decent. That was one of the only reasons why I was there.
But like, so they're Cyprus Premier League kind of thing.
Yeah.
What kind of level would you say that is equivalent to in England?
League One.
Okay.
League One maybe. League One. And then come back. Yeah. So after I left there, I come back down to England, and then I just couldn't find a club. Went to Bury on trial when I got back. Didn't work out. Didn't even know who the manager was. They sacked the manager whilst I was on trial. So
oh my face!
It was literally, what am I doing? Did I go anywhere else? I don't think I did.
How hard is it? You see, like in that situation where you don't necessarily have a club, how hard is it to kind of get trials and all of that?
My agent sorted all that out. It wasn't.
Okay.
It was. I literally just sat there waiting for the phone call. Where am I going this week?
Did you have the same? Have you had the same agent throughout your whole career?
Yeah. Well, I changed him when I was 14.
Okay.
When I was 14, I got a different agent, and then kept the same one throughout my career.
Oh, that's wicked, man. So you've got like a great relationship.
Well, I'm not with him anymore because there's no need for an agent in non-league.
Yeah.
So just left it there.
You did this. You had a spell going here, there, everywhere, and you kind of gone from like professional level to non-league.
And so just before I went to non-league, that's when I went to Wales.
Okay.
To TNS, which is the Welsh Premier League. Yeah. So went there.
Did you get any starts for the first team in when you was in Wales?
Oh yeah. No, it was just like playing week in, week out. That wasn't a problem.
Oh, okay.
And then we got and then was in the Europa League.
Damn. I didn't know you played Europa, bro.
Yeah, man being in Europe still.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Played in Europa League, which was it was good. It was good. To be fair, I almost think to myself, why didn't I just stay in Wales longer? Because even though like there was only like two real games where it was like, oh, this is gonna be a hard game. So in the Welsh League, it was like either playing against Bangor, or playing against who was the other one? Some other team, I can't remember now. But those were the two games. It's like playing in Scotland, where if you're Celtic or
Rangers,
you've got to play Rangers. So it was one of those leagues. Everyone else you should really walk over. That's how it was at the time. Now, I think it's a bit more competitive now. I haven't really looked into it, but I'm sure the league's a lot more competitive now. But in terms of the Welsh League, it was just an easy way into playing in Europe, or getting a chance to go further in Europe in that. So I probably should have stayed in the Welsh League a bit longer, but I just jumped off. At this point, my head wasn't really in
the game.
It's like, look, I thought if I'm not playing Premier League, if I'm not playing Championship, and I've just fallen down the leagues, I'm not going to take this seriously. Not completely seriously now. Now it's time for me to think about the next stage of my life.
Plan B. Do you at that point, like looking back now, I don't know how old you was when you was in Wales. How old was you when you was in Wales?
24.
So looking back, so that's about 5 years ago now, right? 6 years ago.
6 years ago, 5, 6, 8, yeah.
So like
23,
looking back on at that time, do you ever not just regret the saying, do you know what, I should have gave it a bit more and just gone hard at that time and just, tried to work your way back in?
Now, no, because everything happens for a reason. So with me taking a back foot in football at that stage, it enabled me to go into work and start my first proper job.
Yeah,
like, because obviously I hadn't worked before, like, so it was about being an adult now, being an actual adult
and being kind of just normal.
Yeah, just normal, just being a person.
Like,
doing adult things, adult decisions, like out of the bubble of football.
That must have been really humbling, right? Like,
it was weird. It was weird. I won't lie to you. Like, for so many years, I'd just been like ahead of people, like in terms of my plan, what I need, like what I wanted to do. And then I come out and I'm like, raw, what do I want to do? Like, like, what career do I want to go into?
And what career path did you choose?
So I jumped into hospitality and quickly became a manager.
That's so mad. Like, going from footballer to like hospitality.
This is what I'm saying, but it's one of those ones. So obviously I'm in the hotel. I was in the hotel game, so it was literally when it comes down to convertible skills and how I've come up. I treated work how I would, like how I did my teammates at football. So for a very long time, I was always captain of my clubs, or I was one of the players that was well respected in my club.
Yeah.
So like going into hospitality, even at the time as just a team member, just anyone, it was clear to see that, hold on, there's a bit more about me. Like, yeah. I know how to communicate. I know how to get people on side. So yeah, very, very quickly, within the year, I was a manager, and then within 2 years of the company, I came back down to London to open one of their biggest hotels that they've had. So
yeah, that's when I kind of see you again, and I hadn't seen you for some years. Must have been about 10 years or something. And I was like, yo, G, let's go. Like, yo.
This is it. I went ghost from London for a little while.
Yeah, like, like, I don't blame you. If I was you, I would have done the same thing too. Like, thinking about when we were 16, 17, 18, it was rough. 2005, 6, 7, 8. Rough. Like, you made I think personally, that was the best decision you made. And, who knows where you would have ended up if you stayed in the ends. You know what I mean?
For real.
So you continued to play non-league football? Was that just like your side hustle, or because you just like playing football kind of thing?
This is it. It was literally a side thing. But even in non-league, you can make money. You can make money. So the money that I was making from football plus work money, man, I was living nice. Or I am living nice. Do you know what I mean?
Are you still playing then? Yeah.
So I stopped playing, and then I've just come back this season.
Oh,
I've literally just started playing this season.
Brilliant.
So I was saying to my missus a couple of days ago, like, am I gonna retire next season? Like,
retire? You're not even 30 yet, man.
I'm 30 in October. Do you know what? It's because I stopped playing for 2 years. So I stopped playing, 2 seasons anyway, not 2 years, 2 seasons. And when you stop playing, I started enjoying my Saturdays again as
a normal person.
Doing doing what I do. And I'm not one of those gym guys. I'm not, yeah, I'm gonna go gym. Da, 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 da. I didn't stay active in that way. Like the only reason that I stayed, or well, I won't say in shape, but the only reason why I looked like I was in shape was because when I was raving in the dance, I was raving properly. Let me, boom.
Oh man, that is mad, man. So your plan is to get back into the thing properly.
This is it. So this season, before obviously this madness, I've been playing this season, getting back into it, but I can just, the body doesn't feel like the way it used to. Like there's moments, there's been moments throughout the season where I'm like, yeah, I'm my old self again. Like I could do this, I could do that, but the body just doesn't heal as quick as it used to.
Yeah. Trust me, I've been playing little 5-a-side and 7-a-side and one clip on the ankle, and I'm like, yo, like old school, like when we was kids, like you shake it off next day, you're fine. Nah, this is taking 6 weeks, 8 weeks. You get me? So I definitely can relate with you on that one. Do you find it easy to kind of go about getting trials in non-league, like in clubs? How does it work?
So in terms of non-league, so when I came out of when I left TMS, I'd been playing for a lot of clubs up north, and I'd gained a bit of a reputation. So like in non-league, managers pretty much know everyone, so you don't really need an agent. If you're a good enough player, then 9 times out of 10 that manager they would have heard about you already. Once I got into my first, I think, in fact, it was Cluffy from Derby. He sorted me out a club in non-league, because obviously I didn't know the non-league game.
Sorry, is that the same Cluffy that you said didn't really like you much?
Yeah. He sorted me out a club at Stafford Rangers. Started playing well there, and then I've literally just been moving around the non-league circuit.
Okay.
Just playing,
and just enjoying the football kind of thing.
Yeah, just enjoying. Won a league, won shitloads of cups, just having fun like the same way I used to have fun when I was 12 to however old on the common or in the academy.
Yeah, no, it's a wicked story, to be honest. Like, I feel like it's really important to kind of hear from people like you who's done it. You've done literally nearly all levels, apart from I'd say national. You didn't quite make it there, or quite make it as a Premiership baller, innit? But like you was at the door, and it was a decision. It was certain decisions that you made, which you can even look back and you've reflected on and said, yeah, do you know what? If I had like gone super hard, maybe I could have made it, through that door. But it was you wanted to live your life and be free, kind of thing, which is fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's great to hear that, because I think some of the kids, they assume that like doing football is easy. You know what I mean? Like they assume that, oh yeah, a few academies like me now, that's it, I'm done, I've made it. Like, where there's so many layers to this thing, like, you know what I mean? And I don't think that gets spoken about enough. Like, all the different layers, how hard and difficult it really is to make it as a pro. Like, you just explained that when you was at Derby, you had 3 managers. That means you have to impress 3 people in a short space of time during a time when they were going through their own troubles anyway.
This is it. What I'd say is football itself is a very, very simple sport. Yeah. It's very, very simple. Now, management of yourself is the hardest thing. How hard do you want to work? How hard do you want to play football? Because everyone wants to be a footballer. Like, you go to any school, any primary school, any secondary school, and say, do you want to be a footballer? 95% of the kids are saying, yeah,
Yeah.
of course I do. Give me that chance. I want to be a footballer.
Yeah.
And there's so many people out there who have the talent. Now, you can't just have talent. You need to work. You need to work for it. Now, it's managing yourself. Like, I worked hard. Don't get me wrong, because I wouldn't have played half the levels that I did if I didn't work hard.
Yeah.
But if I would have managed myself in a different way, who knows what could have happened? I'm not saying I would have been at a Premier League level or Championship level or whatever, but who knows? I could have been very successful within the game if I would have managed myself differently. So just know how to manage yourself. Know when to push yourself harder than you would have thought you could have done before, because the game itself is very, very simple. Everyone knows how to play the game, but it's all about attitude at the end of the day.
Do you know what, man? I appreciate you giving me an hour, bruv, and I really, really appreciate it.
It's been an hour.
Yeah, I've been chatting to you for an hour, and I feel like I've missed out so many different bits and pieces that I wanted to ask you. I all made a list and I haven't even used it once. Like, I've just been going off the top. But I really, really appreciate the time you've given me and the kids, because hopefully they'll watch this, and parents as well, because I think, a lot of the time people have this perception of like, yeah, my kid's talented, whatever, but they don't really understand like the extent. Look, you had to go from like, you was at Tottenham, then you've gone from Tottenham, then you've come back down to Millwall, from Millwall down to Chelsea, from Chelsea to Derby, from Derby to bloody Scotland, to Wales, to Cyprus, bro, Belgium. That's like the whole of Europe. You know what I mean? Like, chasing the dream of football. Like, it's not I'm going to be a Arsenal player and I'm going to make it. You know what I mean? And that's that. Like, the very, very few do, but the majority of man live your lifestyle. Like they have to go and travel and go here, there, and everywhere to find their feet. You know what I mean? So, like, I really appreciate you giving me the time to share your story, man. And like, but you got to let me know how you're getting on next season, man.
Nah, anytime. Well, I know how I'm going to get on. I'm winning the league.
And you need to get your ass into shape, bro. No more pizzas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see you, bro. I see you. No more pizzas, man. No more pizzas.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, man. Thank you again, bro. I'm going to stop the recording here. Hold on one sec.